Finally, the Steam Autumn sale's located an appropriate amount of time away from the winter sale. So let's run down the 31 best deals. As usual, we will try and balance the amount of discount, how well it reviews, as well as how new it is, to try and get a more accurate reading of how good a deal it is. But these options will also be subject to what I find interesting, and I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. I mean, none of my picks have a release date earlier than 2022. In 31st place, arguably our most decadent option, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Decadent because it's only 40% off, but hey, it only released earlier this year, and is already going on such a discount. Plus Majima's Piracy is doing well, as it's sitting on 91% very positive on Steam with almost 3,000 reviews. 30th place, let's go a little bit wild, and less well known with the Souls-like Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. Wild because it's only sitting on 74% mostly positive, with under 1,000 reviews, but it's a whopping 75% off, and was only released last year. In 29th place, let's get my rule out of the way, of always trying to include a point-and-click adventure or a visual novel, with the brilliant and weird hand-drawn animation of the many pieces of Mr. Koo. Reviews well enough at 85% very positive, and it's 75% off even though it was only released in 2023. In 28th place, we have an interesting, rather unknown one, Nobody Wants to Die. Seemingly a cyberpunk detective game in a future where people seem to be immortal? It's weird, it was only released in 2024, and it's 75% off. Reviews well enough too. Why is it so low then? Well, as mentioned, it's rather unheard of. In 27th place, we have the Zelda-like in a magical version of the Swiss Alps, Dungeons of Hinterberg, released in 2024, and is sitting on 93% very positive on Steam, with almost 2,000 reviews. It's just so low because it's only 60% off, and I have mentioned it on a previous one of these videos. In 26th place, we're entering AAA country, with Far Cry 6, only released on Steam during 2023, and it's a whopping 80% off. But so low because that's still quite a big price for something with such mixed reviews, as it's sitting on 67% mixed on Steam. 25th place, some turn-based tactics, with Jagged Alliance free, the game where you assemble a team of mercs and try and liberate the country. It was released in 2023, and it's reviewing well enough as it's sitting on 88% very positive on Steam, with almost 5,000 reviews. Problem's just it's only 60% off. But hey, if you want to wreck things. Speaking of liberation, do you want to help liberate me from doing this for free? Then please consider liking and subscribing. Maybe comment any other great deals you've seen during the sale. Maybe you'll turn someone on to their next favorite game. But no pressure though, I'm grateful you've even watched. 24th place, we have a game that takes some inspiration from a game rarely mimicked. The Lemmings-like 10 Hearts. Only released in 2023, and it's a whopping 75% off. It's just it's rather untested, since even though it's sitting on 85% very positive, it only has 63 reviews. In 23rd place, we have another interesting yet creepy one, Children of the Sun, an arcadey sniper shooter where you have to kill cultists, I think. Only released in 2024, and it reviews quite well as it's sitting on 92% very positive, with over 1,500 reviews on Steam. It's just it's only 60% off, so it doesn't have too much snipe. 22nd place, we have Trepang 2. You know the retro shooter resurgence, all those new indie games inspired by Doom and Quake. Well, this seems to be a game inspired by Fear, complete with bullet time. It reviews very well as it's sitting on 94% very positive with almost 10,000 reviews on Steam. It's just it's only 60% off, but hey, it was only released in 2023, still very new. In 21st place, we have Is This Game Trying to Kill Me? The mixed perspective puzzle game where you try and survive this game master. Reviews very well because with over 1,000 reviews on Steam, it's sitting on 95% overwhelmingly positive. And it's very new as it was released in 2024, it's just so low because it's only 40% off. In 20th place, we have the time manipulation tower defense game Timemelters. It was only released in 2024 and is 75% off. It's just a bit untested as it's sitting on 91% very positive with a little over 100 reviews. In 19th place, we have the 2D platforming roguelike game Trinity Fusion, because what would this list be without a roguelike? Still quite new as it was released in 2023, plus it's 70% off, and reviews well enough as it's sitting on 87% very positive with round about 600 reviews on Steam. In 18th place, a game I've mentioned before but now it's on a bigger sale, Immortals of Aveum, the little heard about magic first person shooter. Now it's a whopping 90% off, so maybe it's a good time to try it. Plus it was only released in 2023, the problem is just the full price is large enough that 90% off isn't necessarily a deal, plus it's only sitting on 73% mostly positive with about 1,500 reviews on Steam. In 17th place, a rather out of character one, Espresso Tycoon, a quite pretty looking management game where you run a coffee shop. On here, because it was released only in 2023, it's a whopping 71% off, and it reviews well enough as it's sitting on 86% very positive with round about 1,000 reviews on Steam. In 16th place, something a bit more AAA, Riders Republic, sort of an extreme sports sandbox. Was only released in 2023, is a whopping 90% off, and it reviews well enough with 80% very positive with over 5,000 reviews on Steam. It's just so low because I don't think the reviews were this good for the entire entirety of its life. We're hitting the halfway mark with the weird indie beat-em-up Anomaly Agent, where you seem to play a Spike Spiegel character except your suit is white. On here, because it was only released last year in 2024, it's a whopping 70% off, and the review's well enough as it's sitting on 94% very positive with a little under 1000 reviews on Steam. Plus it just looks interesting. As you can tell here, my methodology can be rather flimsy. And thank you for watching so far. Please stick around for about 18 seconds, it's intro time. Welcome back. 14th place, an indie artsy game I've mentioned before, Bramble, the Mountain King, where you're accosted by a giant. Only released in 2023, and it's a whopping 80% off, and it reviews quite well as it's sitting on 94% very positive, with over 2,500 reviews on Steam. I can easily see this as some people's indie darling. In 13th place, one of the only games that was released way back in 2022, 2 Point Campus. The release date is why it's so low, combined with the fact that it's not 2 Point Museum. But hey, it's a whopping 90% off, so give it the good old college try. In 12th place, an indie survival horror I've mentioned before, You Will Die Here Tonight, that mixes an isometric and first-person perspective to kill some zombies. It was only released in 2023 and is a whopping 75% off. If it is a bit untested, sure, 91% very positive, but just a little over 500 reviews on Steam. But hey, I love a good survival horror game. In 11th place, we have the indie turn-based strategy game, SteamWorld Heist II, sequel to another indie darling, and this one reviews well enough as well. 94% very positive, with about 1,800 reviews on Steam, and it was only released last year. Only problem here, it's only 60% off, and spend more of your heisted cash. We're entering the final stretch. In 10th place, we have Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story, which seems to me like an indie puzzle platforming darling, but with bigger backing. Reviews well enough, 94% very positive with 1,000 reviews on Steam, and 75% off even though it was only released in 2023. In 9th place, we have something I've mentioned on a different video, but this time at a bigger discount. Killer Frequency, the game where you're trapped in a slasher film and can only fight back using radio waves. Looks like a very interesting thing, and especially now since it's 80% off and it's still quite new as it was only released in 2023, it definitely seems worth a try. I didn't even mention that it's sitting on 93% very positive with 3,000 reviews. In 8th place, more survival horror, the Dead Space remake, a whopping 80% off even though it was only released in 2023, and the review score is holding up at 9% very positive with over 26,000 reviews on Steam. Well done, Isaac. In 7th place, we have EVERSPACE 2, a whopping 70% off even though it was only released in 2023, and it has good reviews on Steam as it sits on 88% very positive with almost 7,000 reviews. In 6th place, one of our older titles, as it was released in 2022, the classical period 4X strategy game Old World. It reviews fairly well at 84% very positive with almost 3,000 reviews on Steam, and I can confirm it's quite lovely. And then you combine it with the fact that it's a whopping 90% off, so Greek your heart out. Absolute punishment. In 5th place, a game I love to include on these lists, Tchia, the weird transforming open world game based on New Caledonia. I include it because it was released on Steam during 2024. Sure, it only reviews okay at 89% very positive with a little under 500 reviews on Steam, but I include it so high because it's so interesting, plus this time around it's a whopping 75% off. Come on, try it for 75% off. In 4th place, we have the Talos Principle II, the robot philosophy puzzle game, sitting on 95% overwhelmingly positive with almost 8,000 reviews on Steam, and it's a whopping 70% off even though it was only released in 2023. I think therefore I have rammed. Absolute punishment. In 3rd place, something I chose a bit more perhaps because I like the idea of it. The first-person shooter where your guns talk to you high on life. Sure, it was released way back in 2022, but sitting on 89% very positive with over 11,000 reviews on Steam. And it's 75% off. In our last 2 places, I'm gonna splurge a bit, as is usually my custom. In 2nd place, we have an entry from the JRPG Darling series, Persona with Persona 3 Reload. This remaster was only released in 2024 and is already 60% off. Not the best sale to be in 2nd place, but it's so beloved it's sitting on 96% overwhelmingly positive with over 18,000 reviews on Steam. And in last place, because I love the survival horrors, we have Resident Evil 4. Why does it get the top spot even though it's only 50% off? Well, it was only released in 2023 and it's definitely one of your bigger ticket items. I mean, it's sitting on 97% overwhelmingly positive with over 50,000 reviews on Steam. So there we have it, the best deals of the Steam Autumn Sale 2025. Now please go shop responsibly and stay cheap.